My name's Phelan. I studied at Deakin in Warrnambool. I studied education. I'm a school teacher and I graduated from Deakin in 2019.
I'm Callum Smythe, a marine biology graduate of Deakin University's Warrnambool campus, right here on the banks of the Hopkins River in southwest Victoria, where I'm now an aquaculture technician.
So living on res was like living with one big family. It was really warm, welcoming, positive. It was lots of fun. I think the important thing with Deakin Res was those who were fresh out of high school had the opportunity to build their own independence with fellow students around them that were in very similar situation.
When I first moved on to res, I didn't really know what to expect, and I remember my first night, I thought to myself, oh, what have I done? I'd hardly spoken to anyone that day and no one was around. I realised that everyone was still on summer break. Within a week, everyone had moved on to res and I'd made a bunch of friends. Got heaps of great memories from living on res, but I'd have to say the res ball was definitely a highlight every year.
Favourite memory was raiding friends' pantry and fridges and doing assignments, and we'd put a big spread on the study table and just pig out because we needed the energy to get through those stressful times.
So growing up in Melbourne, I was exposed to many different sports. I found myself playing lacrosse and dedicated practically all of my time outside of study to training and competing at the highest level. And in 2017, I actually competed for Australia at the Asia Pacific lacrosse tournaments in South Korea. I'd always wanted to compete at the collegiate level in the United States, but it just never really seemed feasible. Completing an exchange program through Deakin made this possible.
The special part about Warrnambool is just the location of the town. It's a really lovely community, lovely way to get to know everyone and feel a part of a community. I loved that on res we had an open door policy later in the afternoon for a certain amount of time. So everyone had to have their doors open. I think it was for about an hour, and it just meant that if you wanted to come say hi or check in on someone, you could do that. People walking past would just say, hi, how are you? Or you could come in for a chat. It was just a nice way to check in on everyone, more that well-being side.
To all the current and future resies, I think don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. I was nervous about moving out away from home and living on res, but I found it really helped me come out of my shell and boosted my confidence. Make sure to get involved in all the social events on res and the extracurricular activities and clubs organised by DUSA. The Enviro clubs and dive clubs always ran amazing events, and it was a great way to meet new people.
If you're struggling or you're finding that you just need some support, there are so many great resources and people out there who are willing to support you and help you along your university journey. Seek that support, reach out for help, because no question or no problem is too hard or too silly. Try not to place too much stress and pressure on yourselves to perform or do well at uni. Try and enjoy the experience because it comes and it goes so fast, and I just recommend that you enjoy it and take any opportunities that come your way. They could well be opportunities that set you up in the direction that you're wanting to take to fulfill your passions and interests and goals.